that wrong. Okay, so let me share. Okay.
Excellent. Welcome, everyone, to this lovely mid-June day. Um, I saw roses in when I was downtown
Wait,
today.
isn't it April?
Yeah, I know, but it feels like mid-June, right? It's crazy. Um, uh, I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Elections to order. And the agenda is on the screen. We have any amendments to the agenda or any issues with the agenda?
Not for me.
Okay. Jessica sent out the minutes from our last meetings. Um, can we discuss any changes or get a motion to approve them?
Do we have enough people here? We do, right?
Yep.
Do we have enough people?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I move that we approve the agenda and that we approve the two sets of minutes. I read them. I don't know if anybody else did.
I did, seconded.
What I found was stuff that I should have done that didn't. So,
Excellent. So can we vote on approving the minutes and the agenda?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, excellent. And now we get to the stellar fun part of the meeting. Jessica, take it away.
Okay, I will be quick. On Monday night, we had our first budget public hearing, and we covered the mayor and council budget, which includes the town election. And as discussed at previous meetings, the budgeted amount was $35,000, which was the same as what we had budgeted for previously. I explained to the council that we have not yet exceeded that amount. So it seemed like a good amount to budget for. There was some interesting discussion that came up. I just wanted to share. One of the council members asked if the board had considered off-site voting, potentially doing voting at the farmers market, which is, of course, all very similar to what's been discussed in the past. So that was exciting to hear that they're thinking in that direction. That would require a code change. So we would have to go through that process, but it was nice to hear that. And I did want to share there was one offline conversation about the election, and that was there was some just general discussion about just how we can improve turnout, perhaps even realigning the dates of the election when there are other larger elections happening around the same time. So, in College Park, they do it in November. And so just some thoughts about potentially considering that. And I just thought it showed the council being much more progressive as far as like town elections go. So that was just a little aside that I wanted to share, that those two things came up, and that was pretty exciting. The other update I have, it's not a great update per se. So we had gone out to bid earlier, I guess last month, with a request for proposals for municipal legal services, so for the town attorney. And so the way we did it, so we're required, of course, to run a legal ad. We have to run it in eMaryland Marketplace, which we did both of those things. But we also posted it to the Maryland Municipal League job listing, and then we also posted it through the Maryland Bar Association, just hoping that we would get something. And so unfortunately we got one proposal that didn't that wouldn't meet the town's needs, so we had to reject the proposal and go out to bid again. And so that just happened earlier this week. We also did some direct outreach to other municipal attorneys, because it's such a very small group of attorneys that would be able to provide this kind of service necessarily. And so we reached out to jurisdictions that are surrounding Riverdale Park. So I think it was 6 additional attorneys, just like an invitation to, review the bid package and things like that. So we're really hopeful that this is going to get us what we need. We do have legal council right now. We have folks that are kind of filling in depending on what we need from them basically. And so just an update that we have that person, currently have one person, but we are going back out to bid. We should have, I think the deadline is the very beginning of May, so we turned it around relatively quickly. And let's see where we go. I'm really hopeful that we get a firm or an attorney that has municipal experience and that's interested in serving the town. So it's not a super great update, but we're back at it again, and we've already put it out to bid again, and we're really hopeful.
Okay.
Jessica, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, okay. Did you or the town do outreach to any of the like specialty bar associations? Like I know there's a Black Bar Association, LGBTQ Bar Association. I know not all of those folks have municipal experience, but I wonder if going to those directly might just get it seen by different folks.
Okay. Let me, I'll send this over to our procurement person and just see if they've looked at anything else.
Okay. I just put a list in the
Oh,
chat
that's awesome.
that has links to everything.
Thanks, Heather. That will be really helpful. I'll send that along. Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but I did want to talk. I know this is a little ahead of the agenda, but the more that I think about it on timeline, I think we may just want to consider bringing in the attorney that we currently have to at least get an initial review of the manual in case there's more work done. As I'm thinking about the election, which comes, believe it or not, like it'll be here tomorrow. We probably need to get this before the council in like May, June-ish, like end of May, beginning of June. And that way they have time to like talk about it and consider it. And then we also need to understand whether this is like an ordinance. I'm going to assume this is an ordinance with some sort of language that we're going to need to insert into the code. So I think we need to bring an attorney in now, not knowing what's going to happen with this RFP. So if the board is fine with that, once we get to like a kind of a place where we're ready to send it to the attorney, I want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to have her start doing the work as far as taking a look at what our code looks like, look at the old manual from 1995 so she knows where we're going, and then just kind of start moving along, because I'm afraid if we delay it too much longer, we're going to have to go through a whole nother process. So please let me know if you're opposed to that approach, or if you're ready to just kind of let's start moving forward as best we can.
Yes, do that. Yes.
Yes, moving forward is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have work to do, but I will try to kick it into gear.
Right. And I was saying too, Kate, I have work to do too. You'd asked a couple of questions and I didn't realize until today that I hadn't responded. So I'll take a look at that and get back to you with some of those things.
Okay.
And then just the one last update. This is a minor thing. So when we met last time, we talked about the street extent file. And so that process that the county is now using, they're using like it's kind of like a Google form, but it's through some sort of like software that they have. And I noticed it last year. We had some issues with it where it's kind of like caching the town's information and it's not allowing me to like update it each time. So right after the board had approved reviewed the street extent form, I filled out the form and I said, hey, again, this didn't work out right. Our street files are great. Just let me know if you need anything else from us. And then honestly, I'd forgotten about it because I sent the email and I'd already sent the response. And then they reached back out and they're like, hey, you're delinquent in responding. So I just felt like I had to like forward. I don't like to do that, but I forwarded the email that I had sent and was like, hey, I don't know why this keeps not working for us, but we were fine with our files. And we, updated all of our election stuff. We don't have an election this year. So what I found out though, when I sent that email back again is in the meantime, someone we've worked with for a really long time at the board has finally retired. She told us for years that this was coming, and it was very disheartening. So we're going to kind of be starting over with a new staff and trying to rebuild those relationships. So that's really mostly the update. It's just that they've had some turnover at the county board, and someone that was really, really detail oriented is just not there anymore. So we're going to have to kind of navigate that. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out, but these things happen.
Yeah.
So that was it for the updates from the town.
Okay. It looks like the next thing on our agenda is the manual revisions. Do we have anything different from our last meeting? It's okay if we don't.
Well, there was a little change, and where is it?
Here.
Hang on a second, let me get my copy.
Oh, here we go.
Did she just say coffee?
Copy. It sounded like coffee, but I think it was copy.
Okay, I was about to be real concerned because it is 7 in the evening. We should not be drinking coffee.
Sorry, it was watchers, it was not watchers and challengers, it was observers. I added a section about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you for remembering.
Yep.
So if you go to that page, you'll see, and then there may have been a few other little tiny things that I did. There are so many things that I have not done. I made a list of what I think are the forms that we need to put into the Appendix B.
Yep.
Um,
Do we need to have that stuff ready for her to start to review the bulk of it? It seems to me like she
I
should be
wouldn't
able
think
to.
so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. Jessica?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I just want to start the conversation with her. Like, what does she need? Like, start building, getting her
Yeah.
familiar with our code, and then
Mhm.
she actually has done we have a couple other code amendments. So other staff members have had a really good experience working with her, and
Oh,
she's
good.
quick to get back on, get up to speed. So I think just getting her started on this is what we currently have, and then we're transitioning over to something more detailed, and then she can look at it first and see if there's any immediate red flags, and we could bring those back to board. So I think we're okay to start having those conversations now.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's what I did. You'll see if you look that the section below, I left it in for now for comparison, but I rewrote it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's a,
That's the original down there.
okay.
And then if
see.
you go up to the top of the page, there's the current draft for your approval.
Okay. So we should review the part of the election
That's the
observers.
part,
Okay.
yep.
And I was just putting this in the chat, but Jessica, you may already have this, but we should also just get the attorney's vacation schedule if we need to like align council and her feedback and all of that stuff. It seems like we should just make sure that we're factoring that into.
Agreed. And that's a good point. I think we had hoped we would be at a different point right now. So we definitely need to plan for what her schedule might be this summer. So
Yeah.
we'll check onto that. I mean, this is very different for us. We have I mean, she's in court. She's a litigator, so we didn't have that before with Fred. So he was very, very responsive. And so, it's a different ball game. Sometimes we have to wait. And I think it'll be the same with any attorney that we have that's, practicing in that way. So that's a really good reminder, Heather. I'll make a note of that too.
In this, you use election observers and then poll observers, which is,
Oh, they should all be election observers. Let's make a note of that. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you're your own proofreader. Somebody back me up on that, Terry.
Yeah, and I think the first paragraph, I'm tripping over the final sentence in it.
Let me see. Can you blow that way up, Jessica?
Yeah, I can.
Because I know what it's intending, but it's smashing the two things together. So no,
Okay.
it reads right now like no observer will be admitted once the judges commence setting up the machine or after the polling place is closed.
Mhm.
So they can't come in once we've started or until after we've closed, period, end of story. So you can't come in at all.
Okay, that's
So
not
that needs to be-
exactly correct, is it?
Yeah, no, I think
Okay.
because it's what it's intending is like once we've commenced setting up, but then they come in after we finish.
Yeah,
And then they can't come in after we've started the closing procedure, but if they're already there, they can stay,
They
they
can
have to
stay,
stay through
right.
We
close.
have to stay until we're done voting.
Yeah.
right, they have to
Counting
say.
everything.
Does somebody want to send me something to put in there?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll do it, but if you have time, that'd be great, because that way it won't be my reinterpretation of your good thought.
yeah. Jessica, if you could tag me in that,
Yes. I'm gonna do that now.
use that little app.
I don't know why it didn't do hmm. All right. You know what? We probably could share this document. That might, like as a SharePoint file, might be a little easier. We just did that with a lot of the budget documents, and that was helpful.
On page 7.
All right.
I found the spot.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Kate, were there any other changes you wanted to highlight?
I don't think so. I think that they were like typos and that
Okay.
kind of thing. They were really small.
I have a question. Is there a thing about when we accept like the forms to be an observer? Like I thought there was some kind of time period where you can't come in like the day of and say, I want to be an observer and here's the form.
Oh, no, I think
Is it,
in
is it-
typical, in
Yeah.
practice, it is
Mhm.
somebody walks in with a form that we will have devised.
Yep,
And that a candidate, or in the event of a referendum of some kind of whatever the organizing
Okay.
group is, they will fill that out and sign it and so forth. And
okay,
whoever it is will come to the chief judge and say, here it is, and the chief judge will say yes or no.
okay. And
So I should probably
why
make
would
that
the
clearer.
chief judge ever say no?
If it was a form that was not completely filled
Completely filled
out,
out, okay.
that, I don't know.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
if they come in, they look like they're gonna cause trouble. No, you
Well,
can't
that
even
you
do
can't
that
do
if they
that.
look like it.
No, no.
Yeah, no,
I
I
look like
don't,
I'm gonna cause trouble and I'm the chief judge.
there you go. No,
Yeah,
I
the only
don't
thing I
think
can,
there would, I think they just
Yeah.
need to present it to
Yep.
the chief judge, and the
Yep.
chief judge says, okay, go sit there.
over there. Yep. And then the only other thing I could think of is that if they say I'm here about X, Y, and Z, going back, I work with too many lawyers, but are they the proper? Is there the group that they're representing actually the group that has how do I say it? So like if if I don't know how it doesn't matter. We won't have to worry about it. So I'm done. Next thing on the list.
I just dropped a suggestion in the chat for that sentence.
Yep. Okay. I'll probably change shall to something else that doesn't sound like a lawyer wrote it, but yeah.
Yeah.
This
Are
is
we
the friendly
saying-
town.
Are we saying that the people can come in before we're setting stuff up and then they have to stay there? And then but if somebody comes while we're setting up, they can't come in, and then
That's
they
correct.
come in. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm interpreting it correctly.
That's how I read it. Anybody
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, because I also have an option if we think they can't come in until the machines are fully set up, that goes like that.
Right, but the problem is that they are also I don't know about the law because I'm not an attorney, but in most cases, and this was true under the way old system in Riverdale, that they are allowed to observe the
us.
way the machines are set
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
So that they can be sure that there's no bad acting
No,
while
Hank,
that's going on.
yep. I think you are correct.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. So I think maybe the first option is the
Yeah.
better of the
Yep.
two.
Yeah.
And Jessica, I only have Google Docs. I'm not a Windows person, so I
Okay.
can't edit it directly.
That's okay. No worries.
Okay,
I'm gonna
that's fine.
add it to the
We'll figure it out.
comment here. Hang on a second. Oops. Paste. Okay, so we got
Yep.
it.
Excellent. So what do we need to get done so that we feel comfortable getting this to the attorney for review? Is there a short list of things that we need to get this done with this to move it?
Unless anybody has any other, I would encourage everybody just to read it one last time.
Yep.
And if you find anything, send me an email with the information in a way that would allow me to find it and fix it. How's that?
Okay, and
And then I'll circulate a new draft.
okay. And do we have any kind of time frame around that, Jessica, so that we know that this gets to the attorney in any timely manner? When do you, I should say, here's a better way to say it. Jessica, when do you want to be able to give this to the attorney?
Well, I think that if I'm going to give her the initial like the background information first
Yep.
to process. Maybe if after the next time we meet, like everybody can just say, this is good, go ahead and send it, then I
Yes.
think we'll be ready to go. So if everyone
Yeah.
could do a critical read, make any changes. Do we have any forms that we have to create? We can also grab those from other jurisdictions because I'm sure they already have them on hand.
Does somebody
Um,
want to be in charge of figuring out the forms? That would help.
Do
If
we
that's
have,
okay.
do we have the form, existing forms for any of this someplace yet?
Sorta, kinda.
Sort of,
Yeah,
kind of.
the only thing we really have is the assistance forms.
Yeah.
And those are from the state. So we took the state form there.
Right, and we've
Have-
got voter registration forms and stuff like that.
Right.
Sarah, I put a list
Yep,
in there, so
Okay.
maybe if someone wants to be ambitious and try to track that stuff down, that would be great. Of course, I say that and I don't know how you're gonna do it.
okay, where's the, can I see, before I
Yeah,
take
hang
any
on.
work on or try to get other people to take work on, do we have a list? Can we see how long the
Yeah.
list is?
Let's see. Do we have a very last
Yeah,
one?
if you go up, I think I stuck it at the end of the table of contents, but I'm not
Okay.
100. There may be where it says Appendix B, I think that might be where I put the list.
Yeah,
So go down to Appendix B itself, maybe that's where I put the list.
there,
There we go.
Here we go.
okay. The oath of judges election stuff we have, that's in the
Right,
emergency oath. I'm assuming we already have that somewhere too.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
I don't
top-
know what the emergency oath is. I think it would be the same.
I think
Yeah,
it is.
I would think so too.
Yeah. It just is, who can, the only difference would be somebody else might need, that may or may not be available to
Yeah,
do it. So whatever.
Yeah,
The town only supplemental registration form,
we got that.
yeah.
that same day registration form, we have that. Voter authorization cards, we have that already. Okay, so it's the election observer certificate. Ballot sample we would have already. Mail-in request form we already have. The
Tabulation form, we need to make a new one for
Yeah,
that because the one
yeah.
we use is terrible.
I'll take a crack at that because I'm used to data in spreadsheets.
Great.
Okay, and I'll think about it because it's just the darn write-ins that drive the whole thing off the rails.
Right, right.
Okay, the affidavit of assistance we already have. And the Canvas tally sheet, I don't know what that is. We normally get that from them, don't we?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so, but maybe we do.
That's on page 20. So let's see what that is.
I'm trying to remember even what it is.
Well, that's where the two judges sit and we reconcile all the votes from everywhere, from the machines, from the uh mail-ins, from any write-ins. Right, so we have two people we have
Okay, so it's,
somebody reading off and two people marking that down. I know I'm inarticulate.
no, we're getting the drift. The problem is it's at the end of the night and I'm always a zombie by then. So,
I'm gonna look,
Yeah.
Sarah, I'll take a look through my book from
okay,
last time
you
and
look
see
at
what I can
the
come up
tally
with.
stuff. I'll deal with trying to create a thing where we can put all of the official numbers for the different roles and figure out some way to have write-ins as well.
Right.
And then what was there anything else in that list that we didn't already have?
I don't think so.
I think everything else we already have.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
except for the
Observer
election.
certificate?
Oh, the
Yeah, we don't
election
have
observer certificate. I don't even know what needs to go on that.
I can probably take that one.
Okay.
And like do some research and maybe draft something.
Yeah, that would be
Thank you.
great.
Right, just use AI.
Oh, Lordy.
I use AI every day for all kinds of things. So,
Please don't. Please don't. Please. I'm begging. Please don't.
well, I work for an AI forward company, so
Yeah.
Never
do.
mind. Never mind.
Please
You can't avoid
Yes.
it. You can't avoid
Yep.
Okay, so we got all these things. I
Yes.
think we're in good shape. Like I can
Yeah.
pull some of the stuff together that we have, and I have some questions I think that were in there that need to be answered. Everyone's going to do a critical read, a thorough read of the manual, send any changes to Kate. So
Yeah, if I could beg for people to send me any changes by, let's say, taking my calendar down. If you could send me changes by May 10th, which is a Sunday. It's Mother's Day.
That's what we want you to do on Mother's Day.
That's right. So if you can send them to me by May 10th, then I will try to whip something up so that I can have it ready by the middle of that week, so that it will be a week ahead if we're gonna have a meeting on May 20th.
Perfect.
Okay?
great.
Excellent. And I think that covers it. Anybody have anything else? Okay. Then we will see you all in a month. We'll have 3 new pieces of forms for the thing, and we'll all have reviewed the manual and sent Kate's notice, lovely emails about all her great work and that we have no
Okay.
corrections. It would be nice if people could send her an email saying, I did read it and I have no corrections, so that she knows that she's not sitting there waiting for stuff later too. That
Thank
would
you.
be nice.
Yes,
So-
yes, that would
Are
be
these
great.
dates all good for everybody on the third Wednesdays? Kate pulled together the third Wednesdays through the rest of the year.
As far as I know.
I'm gonna send out what I'll do is I'll do Outlook and invites for each of the dates with Zoom links and everything. So I'll do that probably next week, just so it gets on everybody's calendars.
That's really
Excellent.
terrific. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
All
again,
right.
Jessica, for keeping us organized and moving forward.
Boy, I'll say.
And I
Yeah.
did appreciate the cancellation of the last meeting. This has just been really intense over the last few weeks. I'm personally, I told Kate I'm very tired. It's just been lots of hours in. So I thank you very much for being so flexible and giving me some breathing room then.
Well, if we can get the election manual done, we could probably take a month off in the summer, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
That would be
So,
nice. That
That
would
would be
nice.
great. All right,
Perfect.
okay,
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
okay,
Bye.
thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Bye.
Bye.